Good evening, or good morning, hello, whatever time it is when you see or hear this. LOL. My name is Lupe Alcides. I am a Chicano from San Antonio, Texas. And today I thought I would talk to you guys about my college days. So, first, let me give you a little bit of a rundown about how I got started and before I got started. You know how back in high school, well, pretty much all through your school life, everybody inundates you with this idea that college is the thing to do after you graduate from high school. You're pretty much brainwashed to believe that you should go to college after high school. I understand why, but the problem with that is that not enough people were there to support me going to school or to help me like figure out how to do it the right way. And I say that because um, it was just pretty much go to school. Okay, where do you want to go? Well, what's out there, After that, you're pretty much just told how to test, when to test, how to apply, when to apply, blah, blah, blah. I never knew, for whatever reason, I never knew that you could go to junior college first, then go to a 4-year university. I didn't know that. I was totally clueless. I thought you had to go straight to college. And I didn't know the difference between college and university. So, with that being said, I was under the impression that, you know, you had to have 100% of the funds that it costed 100% of the funds of the cost of what they charged to go to that university. I wanted to go to Texas A&M. It costs so much money. I applied for scholarships, financial aid, all that stuff and everything. I still didn't have enough money awarded to me to pay for Texas A&M. So I'm thinking, well, one, that was the only school that I accepted to, um, and that was the only school that I was applying for financial aid to. So I thought I was pretty much screwed because I didn't have the money, and it's expensive to go to Texas A&M. I didn't have the money to go there, so I didn't do anything. In the course of graduated in 91, 6 years, a lot happened in 6 years. Went to the Navy, got kicked out. Got involved in drugs, went to jail several times between 91 and 96. So by 96, let me see. By 96, I think I was already. I went to jail in 94, and that's when I ended up doing 9 months in county, 2 months at a drug rehab. So I spent 11 months out of 1 year in jail. So I got out, was on probation, was doing pretty good because I wasn't, you know, doing that kind of drugs anymore. And if you want to know more about that, I have another podcast um, titled My Drug Use. So I got involved in drugs and was still using. But I started to work, and I started to have this itch in the back of my mind, if you will, that I wanted to go back to school. And to be honest with you, one of the defining moments for me was I used to work for a cleaning service. I'm going to just call it a cleaning service. They called it maintenance, but we didn't maintain shit, man. We cleaned offices. I would clean. a specific AT&T office on the east side. And when I first started, we were cleaning the offices at night. After they closed, we would clean them all fucking night. And I literally mean all night. We would get off like at 6, 7 in the morning. I wasn't down with that. So they eventually switched me to just clean one office for a few hours a day on the east side. And one of my defining moments was I was cleaning the bathroom and it was literally shit everywhere. I was so pissed off. I told myself, there's no fucking way I'm cleaning toilets for the rest of my life. So I put it in my head that I was going to go to school. So I don't remember exactly. This was like, what, 13 years ago? I don't remember exactly how the story went or how the story went down. But I remember shortly after that, I called San Antonio College. And by then I knew that you could go to community college before you go to the university. So I made up my mind, called San Antonio College, and I said, hey man, I'm tired of cleaning fucking toilets. I want to go to school. And so they set it up. I went in and I had to do some kind of like assessment. You do some kind of like assessment for like reading, writing, and math. They just pretty much want to know where your levels are so they know what classes you can or can't take. Okay, before I go any forward, I just want people to know that I used to be a math freak when I was in high school. I took number sense. I always aced all my math classes all through high school. I think since like third grade, math was like my thing, you know. That's why I wanted to go into mechanical engineering. I even tried doing computer science. I even tried doing math as a major. I don't know why. Um, but when I took this assessment at San Antonio College, they said, you need remedial math. I just about flipped. I was so insulted. I was like, wait a minute. How how the fuck are you gonna tell me that I need remedial math? I'm a math freak, man. I can do number sense. I can add, subtract, multiply, divide. I can do shit without a calculator. How do I need remedial math? So I was insulted. So long story short, I had to sign up for remedial math. But the thing is that when I started taking intro, it was like the intro to college algebra before you get to algebra 1. So it was like college algebra, I was like right here. I fucking aced it. It was so fucking easy. I aced it. But the thing about remedial classes, you guys, if you don't know, they don't count. It's pretty much taking a class for fun, but you're paying for it because you don't get credit for it because it's like a zero level. Only the 1,000 and up do you get credit for it. So since I had to take it, I didn't have a choice. But since it was remedial, it doesn't count towards anything. The thing is, I aced that class. I was so good at math that I aced it. Then I went to college algebra. This was pretty much exactly the same thing. And I'm like, I'm confused because I took this shit already. I already did all this shit. So needless to say, I aced all of that. I aced all of college algebra. I think it's only college algebra 1. I mean, I don't think there's a 1 and a 2 like in high school. So I aced college algebra. I did so good that when I got to UTSA, um, I think I went to UTSA like my second semester because I was at SAC for a semester. I called them in the fall, and I was like, I want to go to school. So I did all my assessments, financial aid, applying, and all that stuff. And then I started in the spring. And then UTSA was like, hey, dude, we just opened up a downtown campus downtown. And I'm like, okay, happy for you, bro. But they were like, hey, we're giving people money to come to school here. Once again, it's one of those things, you guys, not really knowing. I should have waited and done all my undergrad, I mean, lower level classes at SAC first. Saved myself a lot of time, a lot of money, but they lured me with this. Hey, we'll give you money. Okay, there I go like a pendejo. I signed up. I started at the downtown campus. So when I got to UTSA, I took college algebra there, and I did so good. I was pretty much like the top student in my class. And I'll never forget Mr. Travis. Mr. Travis was so funny. He was so cool because he made the learning fun. For me, it was so easy. I couldn't understand how nobody could get it. But I took remedial and I was a math freak. So for me, it was easy. So um, they offered me a job. They said, hey, you did so good. We want to give you a job. And it's kind of like tutoring, but you take the class with the students, you're taking notes with the students, you're in the class with the students. But then after the class, you have like a tutoring session with them. It's like, okay, so does anybody have any problems or questions about what we covered today? Yes. How the fuck do you do that foil thing? Well, it's easy. First, outside, inside, last. And I couldn't understand how the people couldn't just figure it out. So I did that. So I did that, and then I did it for like 2 or 3 semesters, and I was at the downtown campus. But when it first opened, it was very limited to what they were offering downtown. And so eventually, I had to go to the main campus. Okay, if you know anything about downtown San Antonio, it can be bad, especially during Fiesta. Because where the downtown campus is at right now, um, they used to have Fiesta like a block or two away. The Market Square is literally across the street, so that right there is bad enough. But before, Fiesta used to be like right there where the Market Square is at the Market Square, and then a little bit more down. But I don't know if too many people remember, but back then it used to get so packed, all in that 3 block radius, because here's Market Square. They used to have the carnival right there. Plus, they had more stuff going on here. So all that was just party fucking town, man. Party fucking town. Could you imagine for somebody like me, parties right across the street? So one of the things that I will tell you, one time I used to work at the downtown campus. I used to work, they call it the AV Tech department. But I used to work downtown, and one time during Fiesta, it's like, hey, let's go across the street and get a couple of tacos, man. It's like, I don't think that's a good idea, man. I know myself. I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, we'll just go get a taco or two and then we'll come back. Like I said, being across the street from the Market Square during Fiesta is not good for college students. So we went across the street. We were there for hours. We were there for hours. I went back to work drunk. Mind you, I still had to finish my shift. I was fucked up. But luckily, I don't think anybody called for help, or not too many people called for help. So I was okay. But man, being across the street from Party Town during college is not a good idea. So um, I started at the downtown campus, eventually had to go to the main campus. Now, if you listen to my podcast on the drug use, I used to get high a lot. Drinking and getting high is not a good idea. And I should probably do a separate podcast on bartending because I have a shitload of stories to tell about that. But that was one of the reasons that I was drinking a lot, because back then I didn't care if I was drinking or not. So when I would bartend, I would drink too. Now I'm like, no, I don't drink because I can't judge your sobriety if I'm drunk. You know, how can I tell if you're drunk or not if I'm drunk? So now I don't drink anymore when I bartend. But back then, I used to drink a lot. Drinking would lead to getting high. So Back then, it wasn't a good idea. So, started at the downtown campus, eventually went to the main campus. I was drinking, getting high a lot. Um, I switched my major several times, like I said. Um, I wanted to do math, but then I got to calculus 2. Calculus 2, for some reason, I got stuck. Um, like towards the end, it got so complicated because you do stuff like you put a cone inside of a cylinder, and then you have to figure out, like, you'll pour something into the cone, right? And it goes at a certain rate of speed, but then that goes into the cone and it's filling up. So you have to figure out like the volume and the speed and all this stuff. So after a while, I got lost, and I mean, I passed it, but I was like, I don't understand it enough to the point where I feel confident enough to proceed with this. So I dropped that. Try to go into computer science, because that's another thing that I mean, it's practically math, to be honest with you. It's a lot of formulas, it's a lot of math. So I tried doing computer science. Did simple C, I did COBOL, but then I got into Java. When I got into Java, for some reason, the DICE program kicked my ass. I could not figure it out. So this was back before everything is like all fancy and animated and super high tech like it is now. This was back in what, 99 ish? So 11 years ago, technology was a lot different. So the dice program for us, you roll two dice, but it's not like virtual dice that get rolled. It's just two numbers that show up. So if you know anything about dice, 1 through 6, you can't have zeros and you can't have any number above 6. So if you are trying to write a program, you want each die to be between 1 and 6. So if this either number comes out either 0 or like 7 and above, you're pretty much screwed because your program isn't working. So I couldn't figure it out, and I couldn't figure it out, and I couldn't figure it out, and I got so frustrated, I just dropped it. I said, no, I can't do computer science. I did COBOL. That was so fucking easy because you pretty much just do like programs for like payroll and stuff like that. It was so easy. And here's another funny story. And I don't know what's the what's the word, um what's the time limit on getting in trouble for cheating? Because in the computer science, in the COBOL class, I used to help people cheat, man. And it was easy for us because we had a distance learning class, which means that we were at the downtown campus, but the professor was at the main campus, and we only saw him on the computer or on the screen. So we took class downtown, and they were on the monitor, and that's how we pretty much communicated. So there was nobody there to like watch us. So I always got like neighbors and people, because another class that I was, at least out of that classroom, I was like the top student. So everybody always like, hey, bro, did you do the homework? Did you do the homework? It's like, yes. Can I look at it, please? You can look at it, okay. This dude, oh my god, literally copied and pasted everything. Not just checked to make sure that his was right or his was close to being like mine. He copied and pasted everything. And he says, you want to look at mine to see if I did it right? Sure, bro. Oh, yeah, here's one thing. You copied my fucking name. Change the fucking name at least. So, I hope I don't get in trouble for that. Because I already got my degrees and I don't need them to say, well, you're fucked from this one class. But that was a funny story from the computer science classes. So then, throughout the years, because I spent a lot of time in college. Throughout the years, one of the majors that I tried to do was psychology, because I took a psychology class and it was so cool. And I said, this is what I want to do. Then I said, nah, that's not what I want to do. So I changed it to something else. at least once or twice. I changed my major like 1,000 times, man. And it's funny because I see those memes about um, I spent a lot of years in college. Well, some people do spend a lot of years in college. Yeah, they're called doctors. That's me. I started in '97. I graduated, and I it should be embarrassed to admit this, but I graduated. I literally graduated in 2011. Um, Trying to remember when was it that I left. It was after 2002 because I met the wife in 2002. About 2004. It was around 2004 that I took my last semester because I was getting high a lot, you guys. I was getting high a lot. I was drinking a lot. I was partying so much that I literally was missing a lot of classes. I was going to class drunk. I was going to class high. I didn't even remember like a lot of shit. And I was looking at my transcripts when I went back. No, I think it was after I graduated because I was like, um, okay, little side note, the ex says that we took a class together, but I don't remember. So I was going through my transcripts to see what class that was and what year it was. I still don't remember her. But I was going through my transcripts trying to find that class, and I saw that my last semester before I went back, I literally fucked all my classes. All four classes, I was either getting a zero. I think one I withdrew, one I dropped, one I failed, and I don't even remember. I think one was an incomplete, and I don't even remember what happened to the other class. I totally fucked up my last semester. So, yeah, I needed to go back. So I really, really needed to go back. The drugs were a big factor from 2004 to 2010 ish. Like I said, you guys, in the drugs podcast, I was in denial. I was still getting high and I was still being stupid. So I eventually go back to school. Um, but this is the thing, and I'm going to tell you how I went back. So I fucked up my last semester, and I was getting involved with drugs, and I wasn't doing anything good. Like literally, nothing good. I was doing nothing good. I was just pretty much just being a fucking idiot, to be honest with you. So you always AA always talks about you have a moment of clarity. And in April 2000, no, it was 2004 that I stopped doing drugs. But for some reason between 2004 and 2010 it took me a while to go back. But in 2004 I had my moment of clarity and I wasn't really doing shit. So I stopped drugs. So I still wasn't doing well. I was trying to run the moving service, and um, I was doing okay, but then DMV came and fucked that up. And I have a podcast on the moving company too. Um, but it was always hard for me to get a job. It was always hard for me to get a job um, because of the criminal. I have a felony drug charge on my record, so I have a criminal background. And it's been hard for me to get a job. Even still, I have 3 degrees, and it's still hard for me to get a job. So it was hard. It was hard. It was hard. And everybody kept saying, "You gotta go to school, bro. You gotta go to school." It's like I was going to school, and I fucked that up. And I don't remember exactly how it happened, but it was another one of those things that I'm tired of living like this. I'm tired of not being able to get a job. Basically, I was so tired of not being able to get a job. So I said, fine. I called UTSA and I said, hey, I'm sorry, can I come back? And they were like, yeah, you can come back, but you owe us some money. And I was like, what? Apparently, I had taken out a loan that I took from school that I owed directly to UTSA. And I was like, wow, what the heck was that? And she was like, yeah, apparently you took out some emergency loan and you didn't pay it back. I was like, whoa, um, sorry. She was like, yeah, sorry ain't gonna cut it, bro. You gotta pay this shit back. And she was really cool though. I don't remember the lady's name, but she was really, really cool because she said, I'll make you a deal because you sound desperate. I will let you get on a payment plan. And I called early in the fall. If you can make arrangements to where you're at least making payments, and I see that you're making payments, I'll lift the hold so you can register and enroll in classes. I said, cool. I applied. I registered. Well, I started making payments, and I said, hey, is that enough? She said, fuck it. I'll lift the hold and I'll let you register. So she lifted the hold. Um, I kid you not, you guys. This was literally just a few days before Christmas, like the last day of Christmas break, like right before everybody shut the whole freaking school down. Like the last day. This would have been like my last chance. And honestly, I'm the type of impatient person that if they would have not let me do it right then and there, I probably would have just like said, "Ah, fuck it, I'll do something else." So it was like everything had to happen in the precise timing that it did. So when people say stuff like it had to happen for a reason or it had to be in that kind of timing or whatever stuff people say like that, I believe it because if it didn't happen for me the way it did, the timing would have been off. So I said, okay, fine. I made the payments, registered right before Christmas break, and even the classes, you guys, even the classes that I signed up for, one was like there was only one spot left, and that was it. So it's not like in the beginning of the semester, right? If you register like September, October, whatever, you have plenty of time to see if people drop that class. That way you can, you know, sign up for that class, register for that class. No, this was the last fucking day. I didn't have no more chances. I had to sign up. So I signed up for 4 classes. I was in. Whew. And I think I even waited till like after the break, and some people had dropped a few of the classes, so I was able to switch it out a little, just a little bit, because that wasn't really like what I wanted. So I switched my classes around, and boom, I went back to school. And I'll go back a little bit, just a little bit, and tell you why I chose my last major. So I was taking, they started offering like Mexican American Studies classes at UTSA. And if you know anything about me, how do I always introduce myself? I am a Chicano from San Antonio. Ever since I was a kid, man, I did a lot of the research, reading, studying on my own because I knew that my people were out there and I knew they had a story to tell, but they weren't telling us that story in school. So I grew up in a small little white town that didn't really care about people of color, and so it was hard for me to find stuff there. As soon as we got to San Antonio, man, I went straight to the fucking library and I found books on Chicanos, the Chicano movement, all that stuff. My favorite, all-time favorite, was back then they used to have the video cassettes. They're probably on DVDs now, but it was a big box like that of the Chicano movement. It went through the whole Chicano movement. I watched every single video and I was like, that's my people, man. And ever since then, I always was proud of my people and the shit that they went through so they could provide better opportunities for us. That's what a lot of people don't understand. The Chicano movement was people that gave a fuck about our people. A lot of these kids, they're so fucking spoiled and so fucking disillusioned that they, oh, nothing's wrong with our people. We don't need opportunities. We got it okay. We got food stamps. We got Medicaid. That's not opportunities, man. The fact that you can register for school is because of what the people during the Chicano movement did. So it would be not only possible, but easy for you to get in school and to get money to go to school. That's what a lot of people don't fucking realize. So I always took pride in that, and that's why I always chose to identify myself as Chicano. So when they started offering Mexican American Studies classes at UTSA, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna fucking sign up. So I signed up, I signed up, I signed up. And one of the most awesomest professors there, Dr. Mendez Negrete, Dr. Josie, was like, you should do Mas as a major. And I'm like, what? Wait, I don't have a major. Because remember, you guys, I was like switching back and forth and not, I still, even though I went back, I still wasn't sure, like, what do I want to do with myself? So when she said, you can do this as a major, what? Could you imagine somebody like me, Chicano, to be able to say, I'm a Chicano fucking major, man. I'm a Chicano studies major. So hell yeah, I signed up. Where do I sign? Boom, vámonos. So that was my major at the first, right? So fast forward back to the present. Well, the present part of the story. I went back to school, and I was there, and I was like, if anybody has ever been locked up, you know what it's like when you come back to society. It's not the same because you've been gone. Time does not stop for you while you're in there. It's like in the Shawshank Redemption when he comes out and there's cars. He didn't know what a fucking car was. He was in there that long. So society changes. The world fucking changes. Everything changes. When you come out, it's like, whoa. In there, it's black and white. When you come out, it's Technicolor. Ooh. So for me, it was a similar experience because I was like, whoa. UTSA had changed. UTSA had grown. There was like new professors there, new people, new students. I didn't know anybody there. When I went back on my own. I might as well have gone in with the freshmen because I didn't know anybody. And so I went back and I was like, wow. Look, there's one professor that I recognize out of 200. Wow. Cool, you guys. So I was like, I was nervous and kind of awkward to be back in school, especially with all these young kids and everything. Went back to school, and then boom, once again, dude, this awesome professor, Dr. Josie Mendez Negrete, says, why don't you do a double major? What? Yeah, you can have two majors. What? I was like, it sounds like a lot of work. And she says, it's not. Trust me, it's not. Talk to your advisor and see what they tell you. Before you say no, talk to your advisor. So, okay. Yeah, uh, what's a double major? And he says, oh, yeah, you want to do a double major? Come on, let me sit down and we'll talk to you. No, I think I like emailed or I called first, right? So when I went in, he had already pulled up all my paperwork, had done my career plan and everything. I think that's what it's called, right? Career plan. So it's basically like all the classes that you need for your diploma. You need like the core and then everything in your major. What a lot of people don't know is when I was going to school, they might have changed it by now. What a lot of people don't know is that back then, your last 60 hours had to be done at the same school. So you can go back and forth like in the first 2 years, but after that, you can't just be going like this school, that school, this school, that school, and just say, hey, everybody accept all my credits, and that's it. They want you to stay at one place and get your last 60 hours there. So luckily I had done that. The guy had sat down and broken down everything that I needed. He says, okay, check this out. So this is what you need for your major. This is what you need to do a double major. and we can do what's called double dipping. And I said, whoa, what's that? He says, you can use the same class for both majors. So let's say, for example, I did mine Mexican American Studies with an emphasis in literature, I think. I think that's what it was. Since I was doing that, I could double major with that and English because English is basically literature. It's not really grammar. I don't know why they call it literature, but it's basically literature. In the grad school, we took a lot of grammar, but for me, it's like misleading to call it English. They should call it literature. I have a bachelor's in literature, not English. Plus, I've learned how to speak English since I was like 2 years old or whatever. So, anyway, he says, this is what you need, this is what you need. And I'm looking at both lists and I'm like, wait, so I only need those 4 classes and I could get 2 degrees? And he goes, yeah. So 1 semester for 2 degrees. He goes, yes. Fuck it. Sign me up. Where do I sign? Just sign here. Boom, boom, boom. You're good to go. And you're already registered in this class, that class, that class. Next semester, you just got to do this one, that one. And I only had like 2 semesters to go, you guys. But then when he told me that, it was like 1 extra. So I was like, okay, not a big fucking deal. I mean, personally, would you spend 1 extra semester to get 2 degrees? I did. It was not necessarily worth it as far as like I'm doing something with it, but to me, it was worth it because I have 2 diplomas. So, long story short, I got 2 bachelors, one in Mexican American Studies, one in English. Here's the cool fucking part, you guys. So, there's not a lot of stories to tell. I'll tell you a few things before I get to the graduation part. So, a few things. I was living with my sister at the time because remember, I wasn't doing shit. I wasn't amounting to shit. I wasn't really doing anything worthwhile. So at the time, my sister was living in over there by Miller's Pond, uh, Five Palms, I think it's called, right? Five Palms. So fucking far as shit, dude. It's far enough from society as it is. It's fucking far from UTSA. And mind you, at the time, the downtown campus still didn't offer that much, and they didn't offer anything that I needed. Nothing. Everything had to be at the main campus. Fuck. Fuck it. I'll go. So, no job, no life, no car. This is my favorite part. When people talk shit about me, this is my favorite part to tell them. I rode the bus for 3 fucking hours each way just to get to school. Yes, that was a lot of time for me to read. That was a lot of time for me to do my homework. That was a lot of time for me to sleep. But that was a lot. Any weak person would have said, that's way too much. I ain't doing that shit. I was focused. I was determined. I was tired of fucking being a fucking loser, basically. So I said, I'm gonna take the fucking bus. Because 1, I don't have a choice. 2, that's the only method I really have. And this is what sucks about the bus, you guys. It sucks to be on the bus when the bus is not on fucking time. Being late sucks because let's say the bus is 20 minutes late, but the first bus gets me to the second bus stop and I show up 10 minutes early, right? Boom, 10 minutes early, then the next bus shows up. If this motherfucker is 20 minutes late, guess what? I'm going to miss the second bus. And yeah, you already fucked it all up. This is what people don't understand why some people get frustrated with VIA. Because when you fuck up somebody's schedule like that, you totally fuck up a lot of shit. For somebody like me, when I was going to school, if I show up to school late, guess what? I missed my class. That's not like just saying, hey, boss, the bus was late. I'm going to clock in an hour late. I'll stay an hour late. No, I can't show up to the professor and say, hey, the bus was late. Well, that sounds like your fucking problem, to be honest with you. You better hook up with one of your classmates, whatever. This isn't like one of those classes that gets recorded and you can just go over the fucking video. I mean, I wish they had that, but they didn't have that. You showed up to class or you didn't. And it's not that they don't care, but it's one of those things that they try to teach you responsibility. But it's not being irresponsible when it's the fucking bus driver's fault. And I'll be honest with you guys, because I know that VIA sucks and VIA is unreliable, I would literally take the bus early so I could get to the fucking school early. And sometimes I would, because the bus was running so fucking late, sometimes I would show up just right on time. So I took the bus. If you know anything about San Antonio, Old Pearsall Road, all the way to Cadillac Park and Ride, which is Military and 90. From there, I kid you not, man, I kid you not. From there, I had to take the bus all the way downtown. From there, I either had two choices. The bus wasn't always reliable, the bus wasn't always on time, so I either rode the bus from there all the way to the main campus, or I had to go from there to the crossroads, and from the crossroads to the main campus. So if you know anything about San Antonio, just from the main campus to downtown, it's fucking far, even as fast as the bus drives. So could you imagine? It was like a 30-minute ride to the first bus stop, and then another 45 minutes to get downtown, and then another 45 minutes to an hour to get over there. Not counting all the waiting time, because sometimes the buses would stop and they were too fast, or they had to wait, or it wasn't time for them to leave yet, or they had the layover, some bullshit. It was a long fucking bus ride, dude. I rode the bus every fucking day until I finished school. So I finished, graduated. Now we get to the cool part. So the cool part about graduating with a double major is I got to walk the stage twice. So the reason that matters is because if you know how schools like UTSA worked, I don't know if they still do the same thing, but the way it used to work back then is you're only allowed to invite a certain amount of people. And when I was first going to school there, I used to think to myself, why are people selling tickets? Why are people buying tickets to a graduation? I mean, seriously. Now I understand, because you're only limited certain amount of tickets, and if you don't have a ticket, they will not let you in. It's not like standing room only, or like general admission type of thing where, oh, you can just stand over here on the side. No, you cannot get in if you don't have a ticket. I have 6 sisters, mom, a whole bunch of other family members, my kids, stepkids, grandkids, there's a lot of people, man. So when I was told I was only going to get a certain amount of tickets, I was like, okay, but I get to graduate twice. And they were like, oh yeah, you have a double major, so you get to graduate twice. Luckily, the other thing that was cool is that I got to walk the stage 2 days. So what I did was I invited people that were here for the Friday graduation, and then people that came from out of town, they got to go to the Saturday graduation. So I got to walk the stage twice. This is what's really, really cool. The first day, I was so fucking nervous. And mainly because graduating from college is a big deal as it is. 2, there's a lot of people in the convocation center that I don't know. A lot of my peers, because everybody's graduating at the same time. And there was UTSA is such a big school that they have to have graduations for each college liberal arts, science, everything else. I don't know what they have, but everything has a different graduation. So it's not like the whole school graduates one time like high school. No, they have like different graduations throughout the weekend. So there's a lot of people there, and everybody's looking at you because they're calling your name, and you're walking the stage. So I'll shit you not. My main concern was falling. I just kept telling myself, please do not fucking trip and fall. And I kept telling, it was funny because I kept telling everybody around me, I was like, please don't trip and fall. 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 Because I will laugh at you. I will laugh at you. So, um, that was the funny part. By the second night, I was so cool, man. I was like, dude, hey, man, I've been here before. It's like, what do you, why have you graduated before? I was like, I just walked the stage yesterday. It's like, how the fuck did you do that? I got double major, man. Wow, that's so cool. You should have known. You should have asked. You could have had 2 degrees like me. So anyway, walked the stage twice. One of the coolest weekends of my life, and um, it was a very very awesome experience, you guys. It really really was. So then um, I still couldn't get a job. Still wasn't hireable because I have a felony drug charge on my record. Nobody wanted to give me a job. So I even applied to like universities, high schools and stuff like that. Everybody wanted a master's, and I'm like, fuck. Now, first it was get your college education, you get a job. Now it's you need a master's. I'm like, fuck, dude, really? So I remember applying to, and I probably shouldn't say this, but like I said, I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone and be honest with you guys. So I applied to Texas A&M San Antonio, and this was before they opened up. They're coming to town, and this was either before they opened up or right after they opened up. I applied, and she said, "Hell no, you're stupid, dude. Get the fuck out of here." They didn't say it like that, but they were like, "No, you're not smart enough." Because I think one of my tests was like not good enough or something. Whatever, they didn't accept me. A few months later, get a phone call, and I recognized the number, and I was like, "Why is she calling again?" So, and I think it was even the president of the university. I don't remember exactly, but it was that. I think it was because it was the little lady. It was the little lady, the real thin old lady with the short hair. I forgot what her name is, but she called. She says, "Hey, it's what's it called from Texas A&M? I see that you applied to go to school here, but what happened?" I said, "Y'all told me no." What? What? Why did we tell you no? And I said, I don't know. I guess because my scores weren't good enough or some shit. Oh, my GPA. Because my GPA from UTSA, like I said, I fucked it up. So it had gone down. I think my final GPA was still like under a 3.0 or something. It was low. I fucked it up. I mean, my last 3 semesters were like super badass because I think I only got like 1B or something. Um, but if you know how GPAs work, it's really easy to bring it down, but it's really really hard to bring it back up. I don't know how the math works when they compute that shit, but it's harder to bring it up than it is to bring it down. I couldn't bring it up too much. I think I only brought it up like 0.25 points or something, but it wasn't good enough to get into Texas A&M. And she said, "What?" She said, "Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. We're kind of struggling to get students in here, so we'll let that shit go. Plus, I'll hook you up with a little bit of cash to get you in here. If you're still interested," I said, "Hell yeah, I'm interested. Where do I sign up?" One of those things, right? So, sure enough, signed the paperwork, signed the dotted line, got into Texas A&M, San Antonio, master's program in English. This is the funny thing, you guys. I've always had this necio-ness about me that I like to do a lot of shit on my own. I signed up into the master's program. Every semester I went full time. I thought full time for the master's program was 4 hours, just like undergrad. Everybody, I finished in 3 semesters. I finished in a year and a half, and everybody was like, "How the fuck did you finish so fast?" It's like, well, I just took 4 classes every semester. What? You took 4 classes? How did you do that? I said, um, I don't know. I just did it. No, how did you even register for 4 classes? You're not supposed to. You're only supposed to take 3. And I'm like, what? I don't know. The computer let me. So I signed up. So, needless to say, I did the master's program in 3 semesters. That was so much fun. It was so much fun. I learned so much. My writing had gotten so much better because I really really learned a lot about writing, you guys, because I used to write like, I think what I was doing before was just like summarizing, and just this was about that, and that's what I would write, and it's like, okay, I know it's about that, but I want you to tell me what you think. Oh, I think it was good. No, 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 no. I want you to like analyze that shit, interpret it. Tell me what you think. Like, come up with some theories and analyze that shit. Break that shit down. Whoa, that little emoji with the bomb, you know. I was like, whoa, that's fucking deep, man. So I totally started writing different. Maybe my writing isn't like the best, but I think it's better than it was from when I was an undergrad. So I did the master's program, got my master's in English. I have 3 degrees. Um, I know what everybody's thinking is like, well, why don't you have a job? Why aren't you teaching or anything? Like I said several times, I have a felony drug charge. A lot of people think that's just an excuse. It's not an excuse. I've applied, I shit you not, I have applied to every college and university in town. I have applied to every restaurant, fast food, hotel, bar in town. I went to bartending school in 2002. Is this kind of college? It's education. Should I talk about bartending, or should I do a podcast on bartending? I think I should do a podcast on bartending and talk about that. But I went to bartending school. I've been bartending since I was since 2002, and I've applied to all the hotels, resorts, everything. If they do a background check, they will tell me no. Everybody. You got to find somewhere that doesn't do a background check or pays you under the table. That's all fine and everything, but one thing about getting paid under the table is you don't have benefits. 2, jobs that pay you under the table aren't necessarily nice jobs. If I could get like a job that didn't do a background check and I could actually showcase my skills, my talents, that would be so fucking awesome, you guys. And I've said this before on social media, and it's okay if you think I'm full of shit. It's okay if you think I'm a crybaby or whatever. But this country is very, very hypocritical because we claim to be a country of second chances. I am living proof that that is a statement that is bullshit. Because I even applied at Walgreens for the manager in training program. Everybody says be honest. I'm honest. You have criminal record. I have felony drug charge. The dude was like, "Fuck, man. I really like your background. I like your skills, your experience, and you seem like a really cool dude. I'm gonna submit it anyway." And he called and he said, "I'm sorry, but corporate said no. Where's my second chance, dude?" HEB. Everybody loves HEB. Oh, HEB is so awesome. HEB has told me no so many fucking times. HEB told me to fuck off, dude. They were hot when they. I used to work for Instacart. Instacart is one of those small companies that don't really care. because so there's a drug, so there's a criminal record, there's an arrest record. A lot of people don't know the difference. An arrest record says when you got arrested and for what. Criminal record will tell you everything: when you got arrested, when you went to court, what happened. So what makes it look bad for me is, let's say for example, the when I got arrested, it was possession, DUI. Let's only talk about the possession. Let's not worry about the DUI. So possession, possession of a controlled substance under a gram. I got arrested, went to court, went to court, went to court, went to court. They got reset for like a year. So every time I went to court, that's in there. That's in the records. Finally, a year later, fine. He gets probation, but he's got to go to um, treatment. That's in there. Going to treatment, coming out of treatment, that's in there. Going on probation when I got out, that's in there. Getting off probation, that's in there. So going to jail, going to court, going on probation, getting off probation, 4 times it'll show up for one offense. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. So it's not easy to just say, hey, I want a fucking job. I have 3 fucking degrees. Okay, don't worry about the background. We don't do that shit here. Everybody does that shit here. When I used to work at Instacart, I was like so fucking good, you know. I was like the top dog until fucking youngster came along and he fucking kicked my ass. I was like the top fastest dude there until they hired this young guy. He was so fucking fast. I was pissed. I was like, fuck, man. His time was so much faster than mine, and I just said, fuck it. I don't even care anymore. So, we were in-store shoppers, and then HEB said, hey, we're hiring for in-store shoppers too because we want to be like Instacart. And this is the thing. What I think it's funny about HEB, I should never have talked to them because every time I was working, they would always like, hey, how do you like your job? What do you guys do? Blah, blah, blah. They were always asking me questions, and I think I'm the reason these fuckers started doing that shit because they were always asking me stuff, and I always told these motherfuckers shit. So anyway, HEB started to do their own curbside. They call it curbside. But the people that buy your groceries and put it in the bags so you pick it up, those are in-store shoppers. When they first started hiring for that, I applied. That's what I do. But I don't get benefits over here because they're not a major corporation like HEB is. So I applied. I was the second fastest that day out of everybody who was interviewing. So what they did was they interviewed. It was like a group interview. Why do you want to work here? Because that's what I fucking do already. Might as well work for HEB. Blah blah blah. Plus they also tested you. Okay, well we want to see how good you are because we're not gonna just fucking hire you just to hire you because we're fucking HEB. We're so awesome. So they put us to the test. Right? There was like 10 of us, I think, and they give you a list. Boom, go. It's like a game show, you guys. You have to run through the store and find shit. You know what's on the list. One of the things that you have to check for is like, if I tell you, buy me some bananas, you don't want to just grab the first bunch of bananas that you find. Because if you're shopping for bananas, you want pretty yellow ones. You don't want them to have black stuff on it. Or if you buy apples, you don't want them to be bruised. So you have to check that stuff. If you grab milk, you can't just grab the milk. You have to make sure that, 1, it's all nice and pretty. 2, it hasn't expired. So stuff like that. Boom. I was like number 2. This chick beat me and I was like, fucking bitch. Fucking bitch. And I was like right behind her. So she didn't beat me by like 5-10 minutes or anything like that. It was just like, boom, like a minute. I was like, whatever, you're not that good. You think you're me, but whatever. So anyway, I was number 2, right? But since I have a criminal record, they didn't hire me. That's not the only time. I've applied several times with HEB. They always tell me to fuck off. So That's another thing, you guys, that I talked about people on my podcast about drug use. When people talk about it's hard to find a job, unless you know their story, unless you know their background, unless you know their situation, don't fucking judge and don't talk shit. You may look at me and think, well, but you're not a lowlife. Yeah, but I don't have a fucking job. I'm self-employed, and I've had to be self-employed since 2002, since I started bartending, and I think I started doing the moving in 2004. I've been doing like 3, 4, 5 different self-employed jobs. If I do voiceover, that's another one, which is another reason that I've always wanted to do voiceover and acting, because they don't do background checks there. And guess what? Sometimes they like that you have a criminal record because, hey, we're looking for a fucking low-life drug user or a drug dealer. One of the movies that I was in, I was a drug lord. Another one, I was a drug kingpin. So, yeah, I looked the part. I looked the part. I kind of acted the part. But that's one of the reasons I wanted to do movies, is because they don't do background checks. Voiceover, they don't really do background checks. It's like, okay, we want somebody to do voiceover for Budweiser commercial, but we don't want a fucking drug addict. They don't care. I mean, I'm sure if you put it out there, it's like, hey, I'm a drug addict, like I'm doing, they may not hire me, but 9 times out of 10, they don't do background checks. Even the bars. I've worked in bars before. Some of them do background checks. It's like, really? I'm at a bar. Half of the people that come in here are either criminals or have backgrounds. Yeah, but we don't like that shitty. Whatever. So just think about that. It's like that meme about you don't know people's problems, so don't fuck with them. Unless you know somebody's story, somebody's background, don't talk shit about get a job, because it's not always that easy. And that's why I personally have decided to have a little bit of empathy on the people on the side of the road. Hey, fucking low life, get a job. Oh shit, you know what, bro? It may not be that easy. I have 3 degrees, still can't get a job. Just think about that. I still can't talk shit about college, universities, education, because I may not be able to. And the ex would get mad because I would say, I have 3 pieces of paper that are just sitting there. They're not just sitting there. It's like, yeah, they're sitting there. They're just sitting there. I can't even use them, do nothing with them. But I think about it. I think about it. And that's a big accomplishment that I did, worked for, struggled for, fought for, and that's something that I did. Not everybody can say that they went to college. Not everybody can say that they have 2 degrees. Not everybody can say that they have 3 degrees. I know the smarter people have PhDs, and that's still not off the table. Hold on, it's still not off the table yet. Um, but not everybody can say that. And I like to talk shit when people say, oh, you think you're bad because you got tattoos. It's like, no. Even females have tattoos nowadays. I don't think I'm bad because I have tattoos. I think I'm bad because I have 3 fucking degrees. What you got? And so on the post about being an asshole, this is one where you probably will agree that I fucking totally fucking hurt the ex's feelings because we were talking shit, right? You know how it is, you talk shit. But she always loved to throw it in my face that I had a criminal background. You're just a fucking lowlife. You're just a criminal. I may be a criminal, but you know what? I have 3 fucking degrees, dude. What you got? Yeah, but you ain't doing nothing with them. But I still got them. How many you got? Not even one. So if you ever ask me why I think I'm bad because I have 2 bachelors and a fucking master's. Just so you know. It's not because I think I'm good looking. It's not because I write poetry. It's not because I used to run my own moving company. It's not because I'm a part of one of the biggest families ever. Contreras. We're like fucking millions of us out there. I think I'm bad because I have 3 fucking degrees. I may not be able to use them, but I got them. And not everybody can say that. So if you enjoyed this podcast, tell all your friends about it. Make sure you like, comment, follow, share this broadcast with your friends, families, and coworkers. All the famous people out there that you wanna share this with, so that I can get acting jobs and voiceover jobs. I have a pretty nice voice. But seriously, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. Um, like I said, I'm one of the reasons I'm doing this is to come out of my comfort zone and not be so whatever the word is. I can't guarded, I guess you could say. It's always been hard for me to talk about myself, especially the embarrassing stuff, because it's not. I'm not proud of the mistakes that I made. I'm smart enough to have learned from them, but I'm not proud of the fact that I wasted so many years on drugs, criminal activity. I am proud of the fact that I overcame that shit. I left that shit behind, and I'm moving forward and only moving forward. Where's my 3 degrees that are just sitting in the other room? They're not collecting dust because I still have them in the envelopes. I haven't put them in frames because the frames are fucking expensive. Eric was supposed to make me a frame for the UTSA double frame where they both fit in, and I don't know what happened with that. Nothing's happened. I might just buy a frame for that one. And the one from A&M is so fucking expensive, you guys. So I got my class ring. Just I'm putting it out there because my birthday is next month. I'm putting it out there because my birthday is next month. I got my class ring from UTSA, and I did the payments. Always with the fucking payments, man. I did the payments. Boom. When I was at A&M, the ring people came to school. Dude, it was more expensive than UTSA. Because of the fact that it's A&M, it was more expensive. I think it was almost twice as much. I was like, yeah, I got one from UTSA. I'll get that one later. So I haven't gotten that one yet. Just so y'all know, it's still where I can still get it. Okay, in case anybody wants to get me one, and I need LASIK so I can stop using my reading glasses, and so I can see what everybody's typing because I can't see it from right here. But anyway, if you enjoyed the broadcast, please like, share, follow, tell your friends and family members about it. If nothing else, I hope you enjoyed it and found a little bit of humor, a little bit of entertainment, and maybe learned a little bit about myself and the people like me that are out there struggling. Now you have a better understanding of me and other people that do have an education, they can't get a job. So, with that, I'm going to sign off, you guys. God bless each and every one of you. I hope you take care of yourselves and each other. Please be safe. Please be well. Spread love and positivity always.